Making art is interesting. Sometimes you have no idea what you're doing or where you're going. You just put one foot in front of the other and you end up somewhere.
I do think that working with many different artists and directors, Jared is probably one of the most creative minds I've come across.
They sort of jumped in at a time with high quality, high concept, and swung the pendulum completely the other way.
Capricorn was an early video, and it was directed by Paul Fedor. If I had to guess, I would guess the brief that went out for that song to directors was, we want something kind of like Bullet with butterfly wings, but darker.
Like most 30 Seconds to Mars videos, they have this underlying meaning. They're not what you think they are. That video really kind of gave everyone a glimpse of the mind of Jared Leto. If we only knew what was in store for us, to be quite honest, no one was prepared.
I think there was always some skepticism anytime you have an actor with a band. The first time I saw it, I, like many other people, were very surprised at the magnitude of the vision that this band actually had.
Jared has a conference call where he has everybody from the record label and his managers, and he's explaining his concept for The Kill. And he's describing like the scenes, and obviously there's an homage to The Shining, so he's going into that. And I'm listening to this, and if you look back through their earlier videos, I think they were good alternative rock, normal bunch of videos. This just sounded so ambitious.
It was the first Bartholomew Cubbins video, and I remember the first time that I watched it, I thought it was absolutely
I was wondering if you were going to go there. I remember the panic.
The worst thing that I'd ever seen in my life. I thought that I ruined our career by directing it.
And the outcome was just beyond our wildest dreams. I mean, it was just so epic.
I don't think from that point on anybody really underestimated the value that there really might be something here. After seeing that video, it kind of brought them to another level. Then they get nominated for an MTV2 VMA award, which they won.
It was a really important video for us, the first time that we kind of connected with people through a video.
Yeah.
From Yesterday was, I mean, you can't even call it a music video, you have to call it a short film.
He manages to break a lot of video rules.
First video shot in Forbidden City in China. I mean, amazing. Like when you're in those meetings, you're like, he wants to do what?
Incredible moments. You remember walking down that courtyard?
I'll never forget.
The 1,000 extras and 40 guys on horseback.
It felt like the real thing. I mean, it was the real thing.
It felt like we were going to see the Emperor.
I've sat in a meeting and they were like, well, Jared wants to go to China to shoot this video. I said, oh, you mean Chinatown? And my boss was like, no, he actually wants to go to China.
Although you would find it very difficult to be able to play a 13-minute video in its entirety on MTV, it was too good not to. When you see it and you understand the magnitude of what they're trying to accomplish, you really want to support it.
Sometimes you just know, like you hear a song and sometimes it's like, well, play it again, play it again. That was one at the end of Kings and Queens. Like we all looked at each other and we're like, wow.
You're used to seeing them dark and brooding, but this was not only really a love letter to Los Angeles, but it was sort of a love letter to their fans.
It looked like the planning that went into that video was probably the same that goes into planning a marathon. That's where you see the pivot start to happen, where a lot of the other videos are kind of riffing off movies. This is the first one where you see he's taken in other influences, kind of more from the art world.
Kings and Queens is really an homage to this amazing cultural phenomenon of mass night bike rides. There's also an homage to a Banksy image, and it's a love letter to our hometown of Los Angeles.
And it culminates again into this pressure cooker, like their music does, into this big epic moment, and ends in a really beautiful breaking of dawn. They took home the VMA for Best Rock that year. I think them winning Best Rock with Kings and Queens specifically, you couldn't dismiss them as this, oh, it's a brooding band, oh, it's so emo, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. all the labels people wanted to put on it sort of got challenged with this video. I think what stood out to me the most about Up in the Air was they stripped away the character of location.
He's got Damien Hirst in the f***ing video.
It's in our video, the actual painting, and now it is as well the cover of the album.
So here again, the influences of cinema and art come into play, and it felt like I was watching a video installation, an art installation at a museum.
We didn't just shoot a video, we shot a film that kind of covers a lot more territory and will be used as content for many more songs.
For those of us who aren't creative people, when you're around somebody who is just so constantly creative and so focused, it's really inspiring.
They have a vision and they do not want that vision compromised no matter what. But out of the 8 years that I have worked with the band, I can't really say that they've ever been wrong.
Where music videos sadly became secondary importance, they raised it to being just as important as the music.